Nigga caught rob this and try to spend it again. Swear to God I went through, could've hit his little miss. This shit 448, she breaking my back. Better ask Lil Wick, I be frontin' that shit. And he bringing it back, no stand in my glick, but the leg is attacked. Nigga shooting out whips, I'ma hop on that rap. Nigga shooting that brick, but I still be outside, nigga. Tryna go down and put shit on the T. Better watch how you talk when you speaking to me. Better watch your approach when you walking to me. Where I'm spanking that glick, I ain't getting on one knee. And I'm tired of ride beef, niggas know where I be. Took him down, he was loose, man, these young niggas cheat. Every time I go through, you don't build your street. Wanna know how I know, cause I've been for a week. I swear with a shot.
A few moments later.
I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Lorenzo Hall. Tonight we have a major update on the D.C. officer whose vehicle was shot at as he was driving into work today.
But up first tonight, one person is dead and another is in the hospital after a different shooting in Northwest D.C. This one happened just before 9:15 near Blair Road and Fern Place. That's not far from the D.C.-Maryland line and the historic Walter Reed site on Georgia Avenue.
Yeah, our Leslie Moreno is there live. And Leslie, we can see police are also there with you on scene right now. What's happening?
Yeah, very active scene. You can see that scene just over my shoulder here. This is in the 7300 block of Blair Road Northwest. We also are noticing another scene here blocked off, taped off here. This is on Geranium Street. Police say the call came in just after 9 tonight. Officials telling us 2 men were shot and police confirming in the last half hour one of those victims has died. The other, we're told, was still breathing when crews arrived here on scene and was transported to a nearby hospital. We can tell you the homicide unit is here on scene. Police are still looking for the shooter. They're telling us they're looking for a man about 5'8". He was last seen wearing black glasses, a gray jacket, and black jeans. Right now, police detectives are here surveying the scene, talking to witnesses, and we're still working to learn more about the condition of those 2 victims and what exactly led to the shooting. If you have any information about what happened here, call police right away. Guys.
Another terrible shooting, another night in D.C. Leslie, thank you. So the other...
What's good with y'all, Mo? Welcome back to Paperwork TV. Today we will be going over the paperwork that we have for Moko rapper RG Simba, who was recently arrested for having a QP and a switch while on federal jurisdiction grounds down southwest. Before we get into that, I want to touch on a shooting that happened uptown. Aspiring rapper Lul Shaud was gunned down on Blair Road, as well as another victim who was hit and found on Fern Place. This is kind of unusual for an area like Tacoma. Before we get to it, I need y'all to go and smash that like and subscribe button for me, Mo. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Imagine it's a quiet Monday night in Tacoma, Washington, D.C. The clock just ticks before 9:15 p.m. and suddenly the unexpected happens. In the 7300 block of Blair Road, gunshots pierce the night air. Metropolitan police officers rush to the scene, their sirens cutting through the stillness. There, they discover a grim sight. A young man, later identified as 21-year-old Rashad Johnson, also known as Lul Shaud of Northwest, lies fatally wounded. Despite the swift response, Lul Shaud is pronounced dead, right there on the street. The story doesn't end here. A short distance away, on Fern Place near Georgia Avenue Northwest, another victim of this shooting is found. He too has suffered gunshot wounds. However, his injuries, though serious, are not life-threatening. He is quickly transported to a local hospital where he is expected to survive. As the investigation unfolds, details emerge sparingly. Authorities are now searching for a suspect, described as a man wearing black glasses, a gray jacket, and black jeans. This individual was last seen fleeing the scene, leaving behind unanswered questions and a community in shock. The police are calling on anyone with information to step forward. They can be reached at the direct line or through the department's tip line. Every piece of information could be crucial in piecing together the events of that fateful night.
They tryna tell me I'm gifted. If I should die to my brothers, they spinning with switch. Niggas just lying and tipping. Feel like I'm beefing with bitches, them niggas my sis. Trapping and running up figures. I could've signed for 100, but nigga, I'm different. Every day praying and sinning. Allah forgive me about 10 niggas coming through Bennett. Hop out, walk down, I'ma give my man. I'ma give my man, nigga. Got a brand new blast, shoot this bitch both hands. Coming through Bennett, nigga. Headshot, next shot, chest shot, goddamn. Coming through Bennett, nigga. I'ma stand on 10, won't photo my man. No, I ain't worried about niggas. Know that I ride with Skrilla, he ride with a Drake. No, I ain't lying on songs. Nigga got hit with a 50, got hit with a cake. Know that I hop in that car, nigga, I catch me a body, I'm fleeing the state. Still screaming free all them man. Look, I got booked for a homie, he be in the cave.
Next up, we got the paperwork for RG Simba. RG Simba was arrested again after just getting out recently last year. We covered this story in our botched robbery in Moko, the Simba involvement video involving fellow DMV rapper Trap Flava C. Please go and watch it now if you haven't yet. Simba was out with a female last week when a Capitol police officer spotted that the red Hyundai Elantra that they were in had smacks on the car that were darker than legal DC and Maryland limit. Upon a search of the vehicle, police found about a quarter pound of marijuana and also a gun with a switch attached with one in the head. I just think that is cray that Corday spent all of his time trying to get Simba out, for him just crash out like this for no reason. Well, I don't want to wrap y'all up no longer, Mo. Now let's get into this paperwork.
Superior Court for the District of Columbia, Criminal Division, United States, versus Young, Shiloh, CCN hash 20,468,722. Arrest number 532,410,024. The event occurred on the 7th of May 2024 at approximately 19:15 at 23 Road Street, SWN, and Independence Avenue, SW, Washington, D.C. 20004. The following incident was captured on United States Park Police-issued body-worn camera. The footage was reviewed prior to preparing this report in accordance with United States Park Police Policy General Order 80.00, Body-Worn Camera Program. On May 7, 2024, UFC, Brennan number 0089, was working the midnight tour within the confines of the District of Columbia using the Calcine Car 1 for 3M. I was operating a fully marked United States Park Police cruiser and was attired in United States Park Police uniform. I was conducting routine traffic patrol along Independence Avenue, SW. It is to be noted that Independence Avenue, SW, is an area of primary federal jurisdiction. As such, areas of primary federal jurisdiction are subject to both District of Columbia Code and federal law, to include federal marijuana and narcotics laws. At approximately 19:15 hours, while patrolling westbound along Independence Avenue, SW, I observed a red Hyundai Elantra MDT 176383 traveling westbound at a slow rate of speed. The vehicle was heavily tinted, very obviously in violation of both District of Columbia and Maryland tint laws, to the point where I was unable to make out even the silhouettes or number of occupants in the vehicle. Later issued No. 295,353,520. I activated my overhead emergency equipment lights and sirens and stopped the vehicle near the intersection Independence Avenue, SW and 23rd STSW. I approached the driver's side and contacted the driver, who was later identified by NDDLMD 1027374642 as Key Diamond Monique. Upon approaching the vehicle, I immediately tested the window tint on the front driver's window. Using an issued United States Park Police Laser Labs Enforcer to tint meter registered a light transmittance of only 15%. District of Columbia forbids front side window tint with less than 70% light transmittance, and Maryland, the state of registration, forbids front side window tint with less than 35% light transmittance. Additionally, I noted the odor of burnt marijuana emanating from the passenger compartment of the vehicle and commercial marijuana packaging in the passenger door pocket. I explained the reason for the stop and requested Key present her license, the vehicle registration, and the vehicle insurance. KEY presented her license and stated she recently purchased the vehicle. I, again, asked KEY for the vehicle registration. Key began to reach for the glove box as if to retrieve the documents, before abruptly stopping and withdrawing her hand away from the glove box. Instead of opening the glove box and searching for the registration, Key hesitated and then opted to engage with me in conversation about the vehicle insurance. I noted Key's apprehension to open the glove box as strange, as most individuals keep vehicle documents, registration, and insurance in the glove box and present them upon request. Key stated that her phone had recently broken, and I explained that failure to provide proof of insurance was grounds for the issuance of a citation. I then approached the passenger side and spoke with the passenger, who was later identified by MDDLMD 1027 for 023628 as Young Shiloh. Young was apprehensive to make eye contact with me. I asked about the presence of weapons in the vehicle, to include guns, knives, or brass knuckles. Young looked down at the glove box before turning his head and looking away, while Key answered in the negative. I noted this behavior, too, as odd. I know based on my training, knowledge, and experience that individuals will either consciously or subconsciously look towards the direction of contraband to verify its concealment when stressed. I noted that Young specifically demonstrated this behavior when asked about the presence of weapons. I asked about the presence of marijuana. Young looked up at me and I noted his eyes were heavy and red. Young replied that he had just smoked in the vehicle and handed over the remnants of the suspected marijuana cigarettes. I noted the sudden change in behavior and Young's willingness to engage with me. Then the topic of conversation shifted away from weapons and to marijuana. Additionally, Young's gaze did not become fixated on the glove box as it had when questioned about the presence of weapons. Additionally, Young handed over the suspected marijuana in the passenger's door, which I confirmed to be commercially sealed marijuana consistent with dispensary packaging. I, again, asked Key why for the paper registration to the vehicle. Key stated that she wasn't sure. I noted that Key looked in the center console of the vehicle and around the vehicle, but didn't check the interior of the glove box. I asked Key if she thought the glove box might contain the vehicle registration. She stated that it did not. I asked Key if she might want to check it, as it may have inadvertently been placed in the glove box. Key did not. I explained to both Key and Young that my goal of the traffic stop was not to issue a citation, but to ensure compliance with District of Columbia Code. I voiced my concerns to both Key and Young that their unwillingness to check the glove box was very abnormal to me. Young became increasingly nervous, manipulating and twisting his hair. Fearful that there might be a firearm in the vehicle, I requested a cover unit respond to assist with the traffic stop. I asked Young to step out of the vehicle and asked for consent to pat his person for weapons. Young allowed me to pat frisk him, yielding negative results. While Young stood in the grass with OFC, Duggan and I reapproached Key in the driver's seat. I asked Key if there was anything in the glove box I needed to know about. Key was unable to maintain eye contact with me, but stated there was nothing. I asked Key to step out of the vehicle and voiced my concerns specifically about the glove box. I stated the following to Key, not being willing to look in the glove box for me. It's weird to me and makes me think there might be something in there that you don't want me to see. I asked Key, bluntly, if she had any weapons. Instead of answering, Key replied with me, before looking away from me and finally answering no. I recognize this behavior from Key to be consistent with someone under stress presenting a fight or flight response. I know based on my training, knowledge, and experience that this behavior, in the context of a firearms investigation, is consistent with an individual illegally possessing and concealing a firearm. I asked Key for consent to search the vehicle, which Key denied. I then explained to Key and Young that Independence Avenue SW was an area of federal jurisdiction and was subject to DC Code regarding public consumption of marijuana and federal marijuana narcotics laws. Further, I explained the authority vested in me as a federal officer and my duty to enforce both DC Code and federal law, to include federal narcotics laws. Young was detained in handcuffs and informed that he was only detained. Immediately Young began yelling to Key stating, "I love you," which I noted as behavior typically exhibited by individuals placed under arrest, as they will be separated and transported. I noted this, too, to be extremely unusual as Young knew he was being detained, leading me to believe that he thought he would soon be arrested. I stated to Key that based on the reactions, behavior, and facts articulated above that I was reasonably suspicious that there was presently a firearm in the vehicle, and that I was going to conduct a frisk of the vehicle to confirm or dispel my suspicion regarding the firearm and ensure the safety of myself and assisting officers. I asked Key if there was a gun in the car, in the presence of both OFC, Duggan and I. Key answered in the affirmative, with Key then changed her answer. Key was detained in handcuffs. I asked Young if it was in the glove box. Young did not respond, and instead looked away. Based on my training, knowledge, and experience, to include additional specific professional development training in the area of street patrol-level firearms interdiction, and characteristics, behaviors of individuals legally possessing and concealing firearms. I recognize the facts, behaviors, responses, reactions of both Ki and Yun to be consistent with individuals currently possessing and concealing a firearm. At this time, I developed reasonable suspicion based on the facts, behaviors, responses, reactions articulated above, and Ki's admission that there was presently a firearm within the vehicle that posed a substantial danger to officers on scene. Additionally, at that time, Ki and Young were not under arrest and would ultimately been released to re-enter the vehicle at the conclusion of the traffic stop. Further, prior to accessing the vehicle, I particularized my suspicion to the glove box and only the glove box as the location of the firearm and voiced this particularized suspicion to Ki, Yun, and other officers on scene. Fearful for the safety of myself and other officers on scene, I conducted a protective frisk of the glove box, limiting my scope only and exclusively to the unlocked glove box. Upon opening the glove box, I confirmed my suspicions and observed what was immediately apparent to be a Glock-style handgun outfitted with a machine gun conversion device. The firearm was plainly visible without the manipulation of any other objects within the glove box. The firearm was photographed in place prior to being recovered by a gloved hand. It was determined that the recovered firearm was a make, Glock, model, 27 Gen 4, caliber, .40 caliber, chamber, 1 round in the chamber ready to fire, magazine, capacity of 31 rounds containing 22 individual rounds of 40 caliber ammunition attachments, machine gun conversion device. Upon further inspection of the firearm, I observed what was apparent to be a machine gun conversion device MCD, also referred to as an auto sear, switch, Glock switch, button, and or giggle switch. The following italicized information was obtained directly from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives in reference to machine guns. A machine gun is a firearm under the National Firearms Act NFA 26 U.S.C. 5845A. A machine gun is defined in pertinent part as any part designed and intended solely and exclusively, or combination of parts designed and intended for use in converting a weapon into a machine gun. 26 U.S.C. 5845B. A Glock conversion device, commonly referred to as Glock switch or Glock auto sear, is a part or combination of parts designed and intended for use in converting a semi-automatic Glock pistol into a machine gun. Therefore, it is a machine gun. The Gun Control Act, 18 U.S.C. 922-0, prohibits the transfer or possession of a machine gun manufacture after May 19, 1986. ATF is not aware of any Glock conversion devices that were developed before May 19, 1986. As such, Glock conversion devices are considered post-1986 machine guns. Therefore, they may only be lawfully possessed by properly licensed federal firearms licensees who have paid the appropriate special occupational tax required of those manufacturing, importing, or dealing in NFA firearms under the authority of the United States and any department or agency thereof, or a state or department, agency, or political subdivision thereof. USC 922-0. Conversion is fast, simple, and requires little technical expertise. Most conversions typically involve removal of the original polymer slide cover plate and replacement with the conversion device. In some cases, the device may actually be attached to the existing slide cover plate. The conversion device is usually made of metal. The conversion process can take less than 60 seconds to complete. Conversion of a Glock pistol will result in a rate of fire of approximately 1,100 to 1,200 rounds per minute. The firearm appeared to be fully functional, designed to expel projectiles by the action of an explosive, has a barrel length of less than 12 inches, and is capable of being fired by use of a single hand. Yun and Ki were placed under arrest. Yun then uttered she's not in trouble, right? I confirmed that she was, to which Yun uttered she don't need to be under arrest. Yun was read his Miranda warning from a card I always keep on my person. Yun uttered I don't want her to be in trouble and invoked his rights, refusing to answer questions. I read Ki her Miranda warning from the same card, at which time she invoked and refused to answer questions. A probable cause search of the vehicle was then conducted, searching for additional evidence pertaining to the firearm, the public consumption of marijuana, and the possession of marijuana on federal property. It should be expressly noted that the vehicle registration was inside the glove box, confirming my original suspicions that the registration was in the glove box and that the apprehension to open the glove box. Observed behavioral cues, indicators, reactions, and responses were because it contained an illegal firearm. Additionally, the following was seized as evidence from within a bag between Yun's feet. Clear knotted bag containing suspected marijuana 158.1 grams. Large Ziploc bag containing suspected marijuana 65.1 grams. Small Ziploc bag containing suspected marijuana 24.2 grams. Dirty Chubbiest dispensary bag containing suspected marijuana 6.8 grams. From the passenger compart, bamboo rolling papers, passenger side door. 5 burnt hand-rolled marijuana cigarettes, center Q folder, lighters, driver's seat, passenger seat, rear of passenger compartment, and center console funnel tobacco. Yun Namki were searched incident to arrest. $2,645 U.S. currency was recovered from Young's person, with a majority of the denominations being $20, $10, and $5 bills. Yun Namki were transported to the United States Park Police Central District Station for processing. A police records check determined that neither Yun nor Key had a license to carry a pistol in the District of Columbia as required by law, and that neither Yun nor Key had a pistol register in the District of Columbia as required by law. Based on my training, knowledge, and experience, the sheer quantity of marijuana and quantity, denominations of money, recovered from Yun's person is indicative of possession with intent to distribute marijuana, rather than mere possession. Yun was also charged with public consumption of marijuana based on his admission, the odor of burnt marijuana, the recovered burnt marijuana cigarettes, and the recovered smoking paraphernalia, lighters, rolling papers, etc. A portion of the recovered suspected marijuana cigarettes and portions of the recovered suspected marijuana were field tested, yielding positive color reactions indicating the presence of marijuana, THC. A police criminal records check was conducted, which revealed that Yun was sentenced 24 years after facing charges for his role in armed robbery, first-degree murder, armed robbery, and murder, first degree in Maryland. Yun was incarcerated for a period of 5 years. Montgomery Circuit Court Case 131576C, 131661C Rockville District Court Case 1D 0369909 for D 0369793. To note, Yun was also arrested on firearm offenses in 2016 Silver Spring District Court Case 6D 03 for 5666. Yun was charged with unlawful possession of a machine gun, USC 18 USC 09-201, prohibited possession of certain dangerous weapons machine gun, DCC 22 for 51 for C2, National Firearms Act, USC to 6 USC FI 811512, felon in possession, DCC to DC for 5038 to carry pistol, alec outside home, business, DCC to DC for 50 for A1Y1, possession, often registered fear, unlawful possession, a firearm or desticative, DCC 7 DC to 502, a 1 possession of interestis, DCC 7 DC to 506, 1, US Go 7 Das Go to 506, 1, possession of Findicacic, DCC 7 DC to 506.01 D Paso, Ido Dis Mariju NFL, DCC for 8 DC 904, 01A1A to BV, while armed, DCC to 2 DC 320220 OED consumption of frame spray nay, DCC for 8 DC 91101, KWA charged with unlawful possession Shona, USC 18 USC 09-201 prohibited Swiss was known in machine gun, DCC 22 for 51 for C2, National for Arms Act, US to 6 US 5811, 5812 carry pistol, alec outside home, business, DCC to 2 DC for 50 for A1Y1, possession of Funfristis, unlawful pastas to phone troll, DCC 7 DC to 502, a 1 possession of Funfristis, DCC 7 DC to 506, 1, US Go 7 Das Go to 506, 1. To session of Afindicashik, DCC 7 DC to 5, 06.01 D Paso, Ido dis Mariju NFL, DCC for 8 DC 9, 04, 01A1A to BV, while art. DCC to DC 3 20220 OED fail to exhibitristris, DCC 50 DC 1501, 0401C. Additionally, key was issue NOI 295353520 for tinted windows in violation of DC code 50-207.02. During processing, Yun provided as bod swat, Kyrfa said to Pravladmi, while Linthadenian, Yun gan kienda grantanine. During the conversion, Yunga apologies Dane talks, I'm usualis marthanth. Itrgan kraktrententrissis 8. 2024. Triventrendic Dintreskias listed into cassation D. Subscribed and sworn be for me, bis 05/08/22 for Brennan, K the 8th of May 2020 for e-signature Apollofiger. Brennan, K. 089. 089 TYNG. J the 8th of May 2020 for e-signature Nibwicklessness. TYNG. J. Printed name of member badge ## printed name of witness deputy clerk 0813. Srefer Gointrentrentezen. C. Code to 22405.
Thank you for watching Paperwork TV. I wish I had more time for y'all, but I'll save it for the next video. Don't forget to comment what case y'all want us to go over next. Y'all be safe out there, and remember, stay dangerous, Mo.